I know how you guys are going to come out on the other end, and I'm so fucking excited for that because we've all talked. I've talked to you individually, and we'll all get to know each other more on this program. And I want you guys to hit your goals. And me as a teacher, that makes me fucking excited. So today's agenda, the handbook is kind of what we're going to use to guide us through the program, and you guys have that on your phones. Did you guys get to review it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry I sent it to you a little late. I know I said I would do it yesterday. When did I send it? Did I send it yesterday or did I send it today? Okay, but you got to look over it, correct? Okay, cool. So if you guys maybe could have that just by your side, you don't have to be reading. It's going to be up here, but just, so in case I'm like this page, just you can look at it real quick. So this handbook is kind of going to guide us through the program as we're doing it. And each day, so today we met at 7 because there's a lot of concepts that I want to go over regarding attraction and things like that, and we're going to look at some infield footage as well. The rest of the program, Friday and Saturday, we're going to be at 9 p.m. For intro, which will be we'll meet at another place like this. I'm not sure if it'll be a hotel yet or Airbnb.
Tomorrow, 9 o'clock,
yeah, 9 p.m. and then Saturday also 9 p.m. And then Sunday we'll meet at 3 p.m. for day game. And each day before we go out, we'll have our intro session like this. And we'll hit the field, go out and approach around 11:30. And then our night is split into 2 halves. So from give or take, depending on when we go out, from what's up?
Oh, no, I was excited to it.
Oh, you looked excited. I was like, what did I say? No.
I smiled a little. So.
That's all good, good. So we'll split our night into 2 halves. So from 11:30 to like 2 is what I call instructional phase. And that's where I'm super hardcore on you. Like I'm demonstrating, I'm watching everything you're doing. And like in your ear, you'll see how it is when you go out. And then around 2, we have something called the middle of the night debrief, where we'll, somewhere outside or in the club or whatever, we'll kind of gather together. Maybe you'll be with a girl somewhere else, or you'll be with your girl, or I'll be in set and you'll be kind of listening, looking in. And then at 2, we kind of take a break from it unless you're pulling. If you take a break and you're pulling at 2 and you're like, we have to go debrief, yeah. I swear to God, I will fuck the girl and send you the videos of me fucking her because I'll be that fucking angry, okay? All right? Okay. But at 2, so we'll have a middle of the night debrief where we'll kind of break down where you're at in the night. And then after 2:30 and beyond, I call it the application phase. And it's kind of where you guys are doing your own thing. I'm still coaching you, so I'm still there. But let's say I have a girl, for example. I may pull her and be like, come, watch, so you can demonstrate. But what I used to do is I'd stay out till 4 fucking a.m., dying every night, and the students would die too. And then we do debrief till like 6. I don't do that anymore. It's just fucking ridiculous. I used to do that like a year ago. So the structure's different, but it's really effective, and we have like about 25, 30 hours this weekend together. Yeah.
When you actually go to the club, I might actually forget everything we just said right now. Like,
no, so the things I'm saying on these intros are not for you to actually remember. They're just so that when I do certain things, you'll be like, oh, this is why we're doing it. So you get the idea. You know what I mean? Even the stuff we're going over here, like for example, like the stuff that I'm going to teach you guys on today's intro. If this was the whole program and like it was just this content without the infield, the thing would be like $500, literally like $500, because there's no point in this or that application. And when you go out, I don't expect you to remember the process of this, that. But when I'm like, hey, remember this is why you could have done this with this girl and it would have worked. You'll be like, makes sense because we went over it here, right? This reinforces everything. Does that make sense? So, welcome to program, gentlemen. So let's get into some of this curriculum. Let's get started, guys. 7:14, so let's see if we can stay on track here. So when it comes to game, the biggest thing you guys have to understand, I noticed some of the lingo that you guys use, and anytime you guys have a question, go ahead and just cut me off. You don't even have to hold your hand, just cut me off, all right? I noticed that one of the big questions, or one of the big things that you guys both have mentioned is, you mentioned the word game a lot, and you said also be like a good pickup artist, right? I like to tell guys, and a few of my students have said this to me after program. They've said the way you teach program, or kind of my philosophies of game, is that it's not actually like a game program. It is. I am teaching you game. I'm teaching you how to be good with women. But the way that I teach game, I don't want you guys to think of this as it is pickup. I don't want you guys to think of this weekend we are learning how to go out and do pickup. The reason why is this. So one of my students asked me, he said, Tim. And I think I have this in a video, but I'm going to kind of go in a lot more detail here. He said, if you stopped coaching pickup today, like if you stopped going out and approaching girls, if you stopped all of that and you just became a regular person, right? I mean, I don't know what that even means, but you get the question. If you became a regular guy, not in the community, let's say you just had a job working in video production, which is something I'd probably do if I ever had a regular job. He said, would you still do game? Would you still do game? And I kind of understood what he meant. I knew he meant would I go out and cold approach. But I thought about it, and the real answer to that is yes and no, because I'm not really doing game now. I used to do a lot of game. I used to do a fuck ton of game. When I was assisting my mentor, Pierre, so my journey with this is, how familiar are you with my YouTube content? Fair. So you've watched a good amount of my videos. Are you as well, I assume? Okay, cool. Some guys come on program having like watched one video. I'm like, dude, why the fuck did you pay me? Like, I would never pay me without seeing tons of my videos. Like, it's $2,000. Usually dude's like a doctor or a lawyer or something, and he's just like, it's like a bag of chips. I just want to mess around with it. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. Thank you anyways for helping me pay my rent. Sure. But so you guys are familiar with my content, so maybe you've heard some of my stories. So I've been doing this for about 6 years now. This is like, I'm in the middle of my 6th year, give or take. It's hard to tell when I actually started, right? But I started, I'm 23, we're the same age, right? 23. I started when I was 16 or 17 in high school, give or take. The first 3 years didn't count for shit, but I was going out and doing so much game. I was really doing fucking game. Like, that was really me doing game, dude. Like, I was going out and approaching like 5 days a week. I fucking left college because of it. Not because, I literally left college, not because I didn't have time to do school, but it was because I literally would skip my classes. I literally skipped 2 final exams to go game. That's insane. Like, I skipped final exams. Like, the final's the day of it, I'm like, no, I'm gonna go with my wingman because his final's not today. And I'll ask the professor for a late day, but I never would ask her because I would just go game again. So I fucking love the game. So when guys ask me, will you ever stop game? It's a weird question because I love the game. But at the same time, now, when I go out and I meet girls, it is game, I guess, because I'm proactively making a move to approach a girl. But if that's the case, every single man does game, unless he's in a relationship and doesn't speak to women at all. Every single man does game. Because what I believe is that ultimately being attractive is what counts. It is not proactively approaching as many girls as you can. That shit is good, that shit's nice, but that is not the epitome of what it means to be good at game. So when you say, I want to be a good pickup artist, or you say, I want to be good at game finally, or like, oh, you said, what did you say about the girl? You said, that's not real game. Like, what does that even mean? Like, if I was working a regular job, I'd probably still get laid a fuck ton. Because at my job, I'm attractive, and I know how to look at women in the eye and communicate with them in a way, which we'll learn on this program, that makes them turned on and makes them want to fuck me. Am I doing game? If Jenny comes over and like walks over and is like, here's these files for you, I'm just like, hi. I mean, no, sorry, I thought of an approach just now. No, I literally thought of opening just now. No, see, I'm still in game mode, fuck. No, if she comes over and gives me like papers, and I'm just like, thank you. And every time I see her, I look her in the eyes and I give her my own IOIs and do all these little things. Am I doing game on her? I guess, because I know what I'm doing and it's technical, maybe. But at the same time, is it actually game? Or am I just super fucking attractive and I know what to do to make women like me all the time?
And she's in your social circle.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, because you say you see her several times and she gives you IOIs, which makes that social circle.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Well, I get your point.
The point, but that's the thing, right? Because I could go out and I could cold approach girls as well. Yeah. But then if I bring that argument into it, that means every single guy is doing game. Because now I actually don't approach more women than the average guy does, honestly. Like the average natural. Like maybe a guy who doesn't take action ever, I definitely approach more girls than him. But like these guys who go out and hang out in clubs, who don't do game, but they get laid, I do the same things they do. I just have a much higher conversion rate because of these principles we're gonna go over. So that's kind of, I wanna establish this. We're going out and yes, we're learning how to take action. This program is about taking action for sure, and I'm gonna push you guys to fucking take action. I'm not gonna push you guys to spam approach. That's not gonna happen. But at the same time, after this program is over, you shouldn't need to live your life like you're constantly on program. That shouldn't have to happen. Now, if you want it to, for example, some of you guys, I see a glimmer in your eye because I think you really love the game. I think so. I think you guys are a bit different in that aspect. I think you're more so like, I want to meet some cool chicks and get laid. You're like, oh fuck, I love the game.
Oh wait, how can you tell? That was actually a fucking good beat.
Well, it's kind of obvious. I've coached. I've made a living. No, I know. I don't know how I know, but you can tell certain things you do. Yeah. So I'm very good at. I have many weaknesses, but one thing I'm very good at is reading people because I've practiced doing it. I had to learn how to read guys with men coaching, and I had to learn how to read women for the fucking 6 years, right? So I'm very good at reading people. No, but I can tell some guys who do this program, for example, well, Brian never did program with me, but for example, my student, he was back in New York. I don't know if you heard of You may have seen his. Okay, you seen that name around? Yeah, he's my one like kind of a boot camp assistant in New York, and he took my program, and he came on program. He had fucked like 30, 40 girls maybe, but like over the span of a long time, and it was mainly Tinder. But what happened was after program, he just got a bug for game, and he started going out like a motherfucker. Now he doesn't even go out at all, but he still gets laid because he knows how to make shit work. So some guys want to do that, and those are my students who like get really good at game. But they like are the guys that are like into pick up in the community. Other students I have add this to their life, and a lot of times they end up just dating really cool girls, which may be a journey maybe something like you would take potentially. And you go out to the club once or twice a week, and you hit up girls like that, and you can get laid 50% of the time, 30% of the time, or get dates regularly, right? So understanding kind of that is really important. The other thing I want to say is that learning game is extremely simple. So on this program, the things that I'm teaching you, they may be hard to implement. I mean, you'll have me guiding you, and I don't know what kind of students you are yet. I'm not sure what your learning process is like. That's what we have Thursday night to do to figure that out tonight. But game is very simple. It's not easy. I'd be lying and bullshitting you if I said the game is easy. It's not easy. But game is very simple. It does not take an enormous amount of complicated effort and understanding to learn game. Tomorrow we're going to go over the process of how to pull, and when you see that process, you'll see how fucking simple it is. And the final kind of underlying principle is that I don't want you guys to think that you have to be in state in order to get laid. Honestly, most of the time when I'm out doing game, I feel pretty fucking miserable. I have really bad social anxiety. I'm not even kidding. And you guys will find things out about me on this program that I don't really share like with people when I'm not teaching. But I have really bad social anxiety. So half the infields you've seen of me, Kelly would attest to this, I'm utterly freaking out on infield. I'm not on camera, but I'm freaking out internally because I don't like gaming on camera. It feels weird to me, and it makes me like get nervous. Like I can't even eat. Like after I go out and shoot infield, I can't eat food because it knots my stomach up and makes me freak out. Even before programs, I get social anxiety sometimes. Not really, but now I'm used to it. But like when I first started, I would get very nervous, not because of the students per se, but because it's pressure. So technically I do well under pressure, but I have very bad social anxiety. How am I still able to get results though? The reason why is because game is not dependent on state. It's not dependent on your emotional state. It's dependent on how you convey your attractiveness as a man to the woman the second you say hi to her. In game, we call this presentation, or that's what I call it. In gaming, I call it presentation. What is your presentation like? And that's going to be a huge theme of our program. There's the basic fundamental aspect of game that we need to hone in on. That's what today's lesson is about, is attraction. If you are not attractive, you will not have results. If you are not attractive, you will not have results. And that does not mean physical attractiveness. What it means is the way you present yourself. I know you're smiling because you're like, I'm looking at you because I'm a big guy. Yeah. Wrong. You're actually a very attractive guy. You're not super good looking, and so I'm not going to bullshit. You're not a super good looking guy, but you are attractive. The second I saw your boots, I saw the socks, I saw the pants, you clearly know what you're doing fashion-wise. You're not, like some guys, for example, would wear, is that a t-shirt underneath the captain? Yes. Some guys would wear the t-shirt and like some big jeans with like, no, you know what you're doing fashion-wise, right? So you carry yourself, well, I don't know how you carry yourself yet, but your attraction, you look like an attractive guy. You're the kind of guy that a woman wouldn't be like, oh my God. Maybe a girl that was like, I only like slim guys would be like, nah, I wouldn't sleep with him.
I'm a pro about being fat. Comfort levels are high almost immediately.
Yeah, and same thing with being super skinny, actually. Yeah. We're literally on opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah, it's the same result. Yeah, literally. So attractiveness is important. Part of attractiveness is looks, just pure looks. That's it, just like body type, facial structure, things like that. There's also things you can do to enhance your looks, like the way you dress. Things like the way that you look at the woman when you approach her. That's more so part of presentation, but that still blends in with attractiveness. So if you're not attractive, you're not going to have success. Luckily, the reason why I'm really excited is because you guys are both attractive. If one of you guys were super unattractive and just like, I would be like, fuck, this is going to be hard. I'm not joking because it makes my job much harder as a teacher, right? But you guys are both attractive guys. So we already have a fucking win there. Now, when it comes to women, something that a lot of guys don't understand, and this is a really interesting kind of mindset shift that I want you guys to have on this program, women see you the same way you see them. And what I mean is this: when you look at a woman in the street, so you go out, we're gonna go out tonight, we're gonna go to a club, you know what your type is. You see that kind of girl, right? And you know that you wanna fuck her, right? With women, with men, it's the same thing. With women, with men, it's the same thing. But the difference is that women don't determine if they want to have sex with you based on the way you look purely. It is based on what you convey through your attractiveness when you communicate with them. Right? It's based on your initial presentation. So there is an advantage to looking good physically, right? There is an advantage, and some people say it's a small advantage. I personally think it's a big advantage, which is why I would say dress well, look well, do all that shit. But aside from that, when you go up to a woman, that initial attractiveness makes or breaks the interaction from the beginning. Literally. It's like a fucking bar. And a lot of guys think, and this is a huge mindset shift you guys need to have, a lot of guys think that what the purpose of doing game is to build up attraction with the girl, but it's the opposite. What game does is it allows you to maintain attraction with that woman up until you've had sex with her, then you just get into relationship management and all that stuff, provided you want to see her again. So you have to understand this. This weekend, what happens is most guys, the thing they do wrong with game is they do so much game that the attraction dies down and the girl's no longer interested. And because they're trying to do game and figuring out what the next step is with the game, there are steps, yes, but the way I'm going to teach you them is a little different. They're trying to figure out what's the next step I can get to, and instead of following a process, they focus on all these little things like not running out of things to say, how do I be physical, how do I vibe, all that stuff. No, fuck that. I don't care if you run out of things to say. Like, running out of things to say is not a bad thing. Like, it's actually not a bad thing. I'm going to get into how you can do it properly, but what you need to do with game is maintain attraction. Attraction can only die down. You cannot build attraction with the woman. You cannot make a woman more attracted to you. You cannot do it. Unless you dramatically change yourself over a long period of time and come to that woman again as a completely different person, which has happened to me getting out the friend zone, right? Just think, have you ever been out? Have you gone to clubs and tried to pick up girls yet? Okay, so that's fine. So I'll ask you, have you ever been out with a woman and you, not out with a woman, but gone out and met a woman and you're like, hey, nice to meet you, and it's going well for the first 20, 30 seconds a minute, and then you're like, cool, and then 5 minutes later, it's like, pat on the back, nice to meet you, it was really good meeting you,
yeah,
bye.
Well, not even that, I run out of things to say, or as an extrovert, I feel like I have to fill empty spaces with just random shit. It goes from like, good fucking opener, and then, what's it, guys?
Well, see, it's the same thing, essentially, and what's the reaction the girl gives? I assume you're usually not running away from it. Usually the girl's just like, okay, it kind of feels like it gets boring, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Correct?
Like look away.
Yeah, the reason why is because attraction is dying out.
Yeah.
So what we're going to learn this weekend is how to keep attraction high while following the process. That's what attraction is. So when I go up to the woman, for example, if you go up to a fucking beautiful girl that looks like, what's the fucking person you said? What's her name? Julia. I'm not going to remember that. So beautiful 10. You go up to her and you say hi to her and the interaction's going well, and then all of a sudden, like, all her makeup falls off and her tits just like deflate. Aside from being emotionally traumatized for the rest of your life and no one will believe that happened, aside from that, you'd be like, I'm not interested in this girl anymore, right? Because the initial perception was up here, fuck, this is awesome, then it just goes down. That's what happens when guys do game. When they do too much game, or what happens when they lose attraction. They're so good at opening, but everything after that. The reason why is because the girl gets this impression of you, cool, attractive guy. Awesome, let me meet him. And then 10 minutes later, it's just like, okay, it's just no longer there. And it's not because you're running out of things to say, it's because you think you have to think of more things to say, you change. And you're not the same guys that open. So the key is keeping yourself that way. Let's get into this. So there are two parts to being an attractive man. There's two parts to being an attractive man, and everything we're going to learn on program comes down to these two things. The process, there's an external part of the process, an internal part of the process. Same thing with being attractive. Question, am I talking too fast for you guys?
This is the way I talk, so fine.
Perfect. Can someone read this?
The external is based on how you appear to women around you, despite how you're feeling internally. This is your looks, style, facial, and body type, height, etc. And more importantly, your body language, i.e. being man to woman. Right.
So what happens is when you go up to a woman, the external is what the woman sees from you. The external is what she sees. Part of that, again, is looks. We kind of went over that already. But what we're going to go over here is body language. That, most people underrate body language. They kind of, like on programs, they kind of teach that like as a subset, and they teach like the game shit. No. That's why I'm teaching it first. This is the most important fucking thing. The way you present yourself body language wise. Most human communication is done through body language. If I look at you, Adam, don't get scared with this, okay? This is going to be a really interesting example. If I look at you and I'm like, dude, I would never hurt you. Like, no, I'm serious, I would never fucking hurt you. Do you believe me? Does that sound genuine? Like, honestly, I would never hurt you. Really, I wouldn't. That sounds pretty genuine, right?
Genuine.
Right?
Yeah.
We do it again. I wouldn't hurt you. I wouldn't even kill you. It's not like I want to just fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I promise, I'm not going to fucking kill you.
I don't believe it.
That looks pretty, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was the difference there?
It was well, first of all, it was your eye, your face like didn't even shift.
Mm.
It was like the muscles were exactly the same place,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why you were holding your hands over your fist,
Mm-hmm.
but that was also like like puffing your chest or whatever.
Which one seemed more trusting? Which one seemed more trustworthy? Like, I believe you, the first or the second one? The first one, right? The difference, and I made sure that my vocal tonality was give or take the same. It was around the same. The first one I said, no, I promise I wouldn't kill you. The second one I said, no, I promise I wouldn't kill you. But the difference was the way I presented my body. One is, instead the other one was like honestly, like really. Like, you see how my shoulders are leaned back? And I'm expressing myself with my hands, which shows openness. And we're not going to get into deep body language, like what the palms of the hand mean. We're not going to get into all that. But I'm just general principles. We'll learn it with women. So I'm like, no, I promise, like, honestly, like, I really wouldn't do anything like that, man. You have nothing to worry about. Also, look at my eyes. I'm like doing a slow blink. So this is going to sound really weird. Please don't start doing this with girls necessarily, but cats, when they're showing you, you know I was going there?
Yeah.
When they're showing you that they love you or that they like you, they slowly close their eyes, right?
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah, please do not go to a woman and be like, hi, I want to come meet you. It means I love you.
Yeah.
And start purring. Adam, if you do that, like this tall, big guy on this cute, petite little Latina, just like, that's not good game, okay? No, but so when I did that, but my body was showing you can trust me. Now the second one was more forward, and I was like, no, like I promised I wouldn't do this, right? My eyes were more dilated. It was more on, right? So it's the same thing with body language with women. This is what the external is. When you communicate with the woman in game, or meeting a woman in cold approach, or meeting any woman in any situation, the way you present your body can convey to her what your intentions are. The way you present your body can convey what your intentions are. Let's read the next part, the internal.
Ready good?
Whoever wants to. By the way, guys, one thing. So I absolutely hate this. When I ask students, so this will happen a lot during the day game session, I'll be like, which way do you guys want to go? If someone doesn't fucking jump out and be like, this way, we're going fucking this way, I get really fucking mad. Because if you can't tell us where to go, how would you tell like a stunner where to go? Okay.
Okay, so the internal amplifies the external and allows you to expand it. Can you like zoom in a little bit?
Do you want to read off your phone?
Alright, fine.
Yeah, it's just a little simpler. And when I zoom in, I'm going to have to fix everything.
The internal amplifies the external and allows you to expand upon your outer attraction. The internal is compromised of how well you handle tension in the environment through being relaxed.
Yeah. So the internal is where everything comes from. Do you guys follow sports at all? LeBron James, you do know that like he's give or take the GOAT. Like Michael Jordan, or any athlete, right? What do you think separates him from a player that is in college that's about to be a professional? What do you think separates? But what's the tangible thing that separates them? Like what actually makes LeBron perform better? It's success, but what happened? How do they get that success? I'll explain. The reason why is where things are coming from when they're performing. Okay? So when LeBron goes on the court, and I'll give an example of game as well, but I like to use analogies for other things. When he's going out, or you know what, let's use film, since that's something you could probably relate to. Who's like the best actor you think right now? Don't say someone in theater, I don't know theater that well, but someone like a film actor.
The Rock, he's the hottest right now. I don't know.
I think he's not a great actor.
He's
But
actually
let's say actor like
But, yeah.
Tom fucking Cruise.
Sure.
I mean, I think he's not that good, but okay. You cringe?
Yeah,
Daniel Day-Lewis. I've watched the show. So Daniel Day-Lewis is a great actor. Let's say him versus some kid that just graduated NYU and is getting his first fucking TV role, okay? And this kid's been acting since he was 10. Daniel Day-Lewis has been acting since he was 10 as well. They both have 10 plus years of experience, give or take. Daniel Day-Lewis is a much better actor. Both can cry at will. Both can do all these things and perform in front of the camera. But what's the difference? What's the tangible difference? I'm just hypothesizing here, but it's probably not something you could physically measure, unless the kid's a trash actor. But if he's a great actor and one day going to be the next star, it's not something you could physically measure. It's something in the way they feel around the camera, the way they feel when they're performing their craft, the way they exercise their skill. There is a difference, and that difference is in the internal. This weekend, when you guys see me out, when you see me doing game, I'm going to do demonstrations for you guys, okay? Brian's going to be coming out on Friday and Saturday as well. Yeah, so I'm really fucking excited. He'll be helping us out. when you see me do game, Brian do game, unless we get blown out the whole time, which never happens, but that would actually be really fucking funny. Everyone's like, fuck out of here, throwing drinks at me. I'll be like, guys, this is not usually what happens, no. But so when I'm out, you guys are gonna see me doing game. You're gonna see women, you're gonna see me make out with girls and pretend to pull girls and then be like, you saw that? Cool, let's get back on program. Like, I've done that before. I've like pulled a girl into the cabin, like, my friends are still waiting for me, sorry. Like telling the students, come. But you're gonna see me do these kind of things, right? And it's gonna look effortless. Like I know it is because I've coached students and they all say the same thing. It looks effortless, like I'm not trying. The reason why is not because, like, I meet other guys who have great body language and stuff like that as well, but the reason why what I'm doing looks effortless is because where it's coming from. Because the mindset and the attitude I have behind the actions I'm taking, that's what makes it different. Now that doesn't mean that you can't have success, or even great success, without having this mastered, but this is the real game here. And it comes down to being relaxed, realization. We're gonna go over that later. I have a question for you guys. What do you think we're gonna be focusing in more on this program, the external or the internal?
External.
Why? Oh, you think internal?
I would have thought.
Okay, so why do you think external? Why do you think internal?
Honestly, I thought it was external because in one of your videos you said it. So
Okay.
I'm kind of cheating.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Why do you think? Sometimes I contradict myself in my videos, so who knows? But why do you think the internal?
I think internal because, external is a thing that, like, you're not taking us to go work on our looks and go to the gym. You're taking us to a club to work on basically the little bit of external of like locking in and things like that. Mm-hmm. But the majority is going to be internal of like actually working through internal problems, things like that.
Okay. Okay. So Armin was right. It is the external. I tried to throw it off by saying sometimes I contradict myself. I never contradict myself. No idea.
Yeah. I have a better reason than just saying, I saw your video.
Sure.
I think internal takes a long fucking time, right? Because it's easy to teach someone how to be confident to teach something, but to actually say effortless, I don't think it's going to take this week. I'm saying it'll take a far longer time. Externally, it's more physical, using the physical body language or whatever. Okay. So I think that one is more a tangible thing, right?
Yeah. Correct. You hit it right on the head. So it is impossible, honestly, and I'd be lying if I told you otherwise. It is impossible to teach you the internal. I can't teach it to you. I can, however, use the external as a medium to help you get there. And when you said we're going to work on looks and fashion, that's part of it. Yeah. We're going to be working on being man to woman. We're going to be working on how you position your body. We're going to be working on how you look at a woman when you talk to her. We're going to be working on how you go like this and lead. We're going to be working on how you approach. We're going to be working on what you say to set up the pole, for example. Things like that. That's all external. Yeah. Internal, I can help you kickstart it by telling you the proper external actions to take to make you feel more confident. But when I hear these like people like a confidence coach, I think there's such a thing as a confidence coach. But like if I were to tell you on program, the first thing we have to learn is how to be confident. And I give you a big motivating speech about how everyone wants you on the first day. I do that on the last day, by the way. We end on a big motivating speech about how everyone wants you after you've tasted success on program first. It wouldn't even register. Because I'm still throwing you out in the middle of the fucking field with these beautiful Latinas, you're gonna be like, ah! Like it's impossible. You can't force your brain to feel confident. It is impossible. Like, real quick, for me as well, like, right, when it comes to like taking action, like with infield footage, for example. I told you I hate shooting infield. Now I'm good at it, but when I first started, like the first couple months, I was freaking out. Did I tell myself, okay, now I feel confident and now I can shoot infield, and infield just like I just felt better? No, I had to actually take steps to make myself feel comfortable when I shot infield. The first thing I did, for example, some pickup guys may be like, you shouldn't do this because that's not good to do, but I would fucking drink when I shot infield. Like I'd fucking drink. I'd down like 2 fucking vodkas so I could be a little fucking tipsy so I could forget about the fucking camera. And as I began to condition myself, okay, whenever I film infield, it's not a big deal. I don't even remember the camera's there. I wasn't getting wasted, so I didn't have to do that every time. Now I can go out sober and I can just film infield now. And it's not a big deal. I still feel that little bit of anxiety, but I can easily overcome it, right? So by taking external steps in your game, you begin to cultivate the internal. And that is what I'm going to teach you guys how to do on this entire weekend. It's all going to be about the external. However, when you get into certain moments, sometimes maybe you guys will feel like giving up. Sometimes you guys may be going too aggressive or whatever. I'll back it up with some internal principles and throw a little here and there. But on the end of program, after everything, then we'll go into the internal talk that you need to hear. And so let's get into the first external principle when it comes to being attractive, okay? The most important thing you can do when you talk to a woman is be man to woman. That's the most important fucking thing. And most guys are not man to woman at all. You're gonna see some infield where I take this girl from this guy, and because he's not being man to woman, essentially, it's I feel bad for the guy. Yeah, he didn't buy my program afterwards, unfortunately. I never got a chance to sell him on it because I was pulling. But right, business lessons, yeah. But being man to woman is probably the most important thing you could do when it comes to establishing attraction. Remember what we talked about? Can you build attraction? No. It already exists when you open the girl. It's the highest it's ever gonna fucking be when you first say hi.
Understand? If the girl is showing that she's not attracted to you from the beginning, like those girls were. And by the way, the reason they weren't attracted to you was because the way you came at them. That was the only reason why. But when you're talking to girls, you don't want to keep pushing for some little reaction to make you feel good. So with those girls, for example, if I would have opened them and they would have done that, I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. And I just ignored it. But what I want you to do, guys, is this. Think about what's happening right here. What's happening, think about the contact. This is like a college bar. This is like a college bar. Are you trying to get in the bar? So, this is like a college bar. So a lot of it's a social circle. So a lot of the people know each other. So when you come in, they're thinking, oh, who is this guy? Is he a part of the social circle? Do I have comfort with him? So when I come up to the girl, I wouldn't be like, oh, hey, I'm from Miami, or hey, I wanted to meet you. I would come up very warm. I'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? And it's a new environment for me too. So maybe, who knows, when I go up to the girl, I'll be like, you're not in my social circle, I don't know you, we'll see. But like, generally, all these girls here are not with all these guys, but they assume that there's some level of comfort. They assume that, oh, I know what to do this way, do that way, do this way, right? Some kind of comfort. Does that make sense?
Same way that chick comes up to you, or you go up to that girl who's a beautiful stunner with an amazing body and great energy. Same thing with you. The most attracted the girl's gonna be to you is on the opening. That's why opening is so easy, because the girl's attracted. She's like, a new guy. Yay, let's see if he's cool. Right? Some girls, of course, are like, no, I have a boyfriend that I'm like written a relationship with. I don't want to do that. Other girls who have boyfriends don't care. Right? But this is the most important thing, being man to woman. There are 3 facets of being man to woman, 3 levels of being man to woman. Eye contact, proximity, and physicality. Eye contact, proximity, physicality. It is simple as that. If you do 2 out of these 3 things, you are being man to woman. Okay, I lied. If you do eye contact and then one of the other 2, you're being man to woman. We'll get specific with it. You have to have eye contact. Eye contact is the most important feature of being man to woman. First, let's define, what does it mean to be man to woman? What does that mean?
Creating a sexual frame.
Can you elaborate on that? What does that even mean, to create a sexual frame?
That means like instilling in the woman's mind from the beginning that it's a sexual encounter. It's not. It is a man and a woman, and because of that, sex could eventually happen. Correct.
Yeah. It's what it's saying essentially is, being man to woman is telling the woman through your body, without having to verbalize it, that the context of the interaction that you two are having is one that sex could happen. Pretty much what you said, but it's without verbalizing it. Sometimes I do verbalize it as well, like a cherry on top, but it is establishing that. It's establishing the interaction we have now is not a platonic interaction. It is a sexual interaction, right? That is the definition of being man to woman. And the best way to establish this is through eye contact. I used to say they're all important. They all are important, but eye contact is by far the most important one. You know, have you heard of the saying, the eyes are the window to the soul? Have you heard of that before? That's extraordinarily true. Most guys do not have good eye contact. Even guys who think they have good eye contact have really shit eye contact with women and men. But we're talking about women right now. So like, eye contact is extremely important. Now, what kind of eye contact do you want to have? You shouldn't have eye contact where you're like leaning in like yeah. The eye contact you want to have is relaxed eye contact. So you want your body to be relaxed. The eye contact where you are not trying to penetrate her, you're not trying to forcefully like, I have to, but I call it where you're holding a tether. It's almost like you're holding a tether, like a little line between your eyes and her eyes. And the frame that you're coming from is one of appreciation. It sounds really weird, but the frame I'm coming from is almost like I'm appreciating this cute little innocent little girl that's in front of me that just wants to be loved. That's it, right? It's like, oh, she's just so fucking adorable. She just like wants a guy to like her and appreciate her, right? That's the frame that I'm coming from. That is how you make your eye contact powerful. And there's different body language hacks you can do to get there. Okay, so eye contact, you have to establish it early on. And when I say early on, I'm talking about the first second. You can't interact like and then make eye contact later. It's not going to work because you've already established no attraction. Again, attraction is established the second you say hi to the girl. If you don't establish it the second you say hi, you're already going on a downhill battle. You're already going on a downhill spiral, whatever you want to call it. Does that make sense? The second principle, the second breakdown of being man to woman is proximity. The zone of physical closeness between you and her, what does that mean?
Yeah, between both of you.
Yeah. So when you go up to a girl, you should be fucking close to her. Now, you mentioned, I heard something that you said. You said, at night it's so hard to hear unless I like talk in the person's ear. You should talk in the person's ear.
Okay.
When I talk at night, I don't talk louder than this.
Okay.
I don't. But I literally talk in the girl's ear. Like her tits are on my chest.
Okay.
That's how close I am with every single girl I talk to. It sounds weird because you guys are thinking for the context of probably like I have to do game to get to that point, but you don't. This is the game. This is when you go up, you establish this proximity. It's something that I call the foot test. So look at this. Your feet should be overlapping the girl's feet. It should be next to the feet like this. I made a video where I kind of talked about this briefly. His feet were the ones demonstrated in the video. Remember filming that? You're like, get your feet. Your feet should be like this. If your feet are like this, you're too far away. If you're like this, you're close. Now, if you guys see me talking to a girl and I'm like making out with her, but my feet are not close, please don't tap me and be like, Jim, your feet are not overlapping. Okay, I mean, I'm making out with the girl, come on, like, but you get the idea, right? Yeah. That's a general good test. Are your feet overlapping hers? What eye contact does for you is it establishes the sexuality, and what proximity does is it makes the girl feel that you are okay being there. A big part of game is putting yourself in a position to make the girl feel like this is okay. Sounds weird, but a big part of game is putting yourself in positions that the girl would have a guy that she was already dating. Your proximity should be the kind of proximity that makes her feel this is okay. This is like someone who I'm already close with. So just think, where would the girl place a guy who's her boyfriend? Yeah, or very close to her. Like when they're by the bar, she'd be like leaning against him. They'd have very close proximity. He could touch her any way he wants, right? Yeah. What about a guy who she's in the friend zone with? Not even that far away, but she'd put him probably at her side or her back.
T-Rex arms.
Probably, yeah, give or take, right? Yeah. It would be on the side. It would be in the spot of guys that she doesn't take seriously sexually. What about a guy who's a stranger? It's kind of like, watch out, bro. Yeah. But technically, not really, because if she wants to fuck you, she's going to put you close to her. You see the difference? You see the little blind spot, right? I mean, the little gray area. Now, the second you get close, of course, and the girl's like, what am I doing? I'm backing off. Of course, I'm always backing off, right? If the girl's like, no, I assume she's not attracted to me, or else she wouldn't have given me that response, right? But that rarely happens. Most girls don't do that, actually. Most girls are very down to just be physical and have proximity, if you are attractive to them. Some girls may not like skinny, those slim black boys with fuckboy hair. Some girls may not like, what's your ethnicity?
I thought you were wrong. I'm Persian.
Some guys may not like Persian men with sharp beards and nice watches. Some girls may not like big white guys with a snazzy fashion sense. Who knows? Some girls may not like Asian band boys. So, you know what I mean? No ethnicity known band boys. Right? But so you never know, right? Some girls they may not be your type, right? I mean, you may not be their type or vice versa. And those kind of girls will not let this happen. But the girls that are attracted to you, this will be able to happen. Third principle, physicality. What does physicality do? You're breaking a barrier. You are breaking a social barrier. So each one of these does something else in your interaction. What does eye contact do? Well, all of this does. But what does eye contact do?
Comfort?
False. No.
No.
Establishes a tether between you and the girl. Establishes sexuality. Establishes your intent. What does proximity do? All right. You're killing me now. We just went over this shit. I demonstrated it on you. You touched me. You touched your hand on my shoulder and you forgot it. Proximity makes the girl feel it is okay for him to be here.
Okay.
This is where I would put a guy that I would fuck.
Right.
You get the difference, right?
Yes.
Eye contact is like, okay, this guy wants to fuck me. Look at his eyes. You can tell like if an animal's coming to kill you through their eyes. So eye contact is like, here's my intent. Proximity is like, okay, this guy is the kind of guy that's standing where I would put someone who I would fuck. If you're over here, you're in the friend zone. If you're here, you're still in the friend zone. If you're here, this is where she put her boyfriend, and you're there, and she's okay with it, which means that it rationalizes in her mind subconsciously, oh, this is okay, man to woman. Physicality breaks the social conditioning aspect of it. Where the social conditioning is like, you can't touch strangers. Again, you shouldn't randomly touch strangers, but in a nightclub, it's a sexual context. People are there to hook up and have fun, drink. You can do that. You can get away with it. So these three. Physicality, you want to establish a touch between you and the girl. I start off usually with a hug. It's very simple. I don't do crazy physical game. I used to, but now usually the core of my game is just very relaxed, and I let the girl kind of chase me, and then I end up pulling that way. And I let the physicality happen organically, but I do start physicality early on. I do start some kind of physicality early on. Usually it's a hug. You're establishing physicality like that, right? You're establishing physicality off the open, arm around the girl. Another way you can do is like hold your hand out, like, I love you, little girl. Who the fuck are you?
So wait, why don't you give hugs with like this?
Hmm?
Give her a hug.
I do that
Oh,
a lot.
You
I'm just telling you that's the easy
oh,
shit.
Okay, alright, cool.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's my big opener. I'm just like, marry me.
Can I meet you? I love your looks. Oh, I can't meet you?
Oh, yes.
No, it's like my first day here from New York.
Hi. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Tim, where are you from?
And then when she comes, with an arm around her, I'm just like, you are a naughty little demon, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's the principles of being man to woman. Question: when do you guys do these things? When do you do this? When do you do this?
When do I do it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you. As soon as you open. Now, all of them you can't get away with every time. Realistically, like if there's a girl and she has like 6 friends around her, and they all look like social justice warriors from New York. You know social justice warriors?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Do they have those in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Awesome. If they look like that, you can just like bow before her and be like, Wakanda forever. No, don't do that. If they look like that, no, I'm kind of exaggerating, but like if she's in a group of friends, for example, you don't want to be like, yo, girl, I fucking love you, because she's going to feel judged by her friends, so she doesn't want to do that. It's not that she doesn't like you, it's just socially unaware, right? So what I would do instead is I'd probably do a handshake and be like, yo, I love your look, come, can I meet you? And then I'd pull her away from her friends and hug her. Right? A lot of guys say, how do you do group sets? I usually don't even talk to the group until the friends look like they're going to kill me. Then I'm just like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm Tim. Like, I'm really innocent. And then I'll say that. That's my line. I'm really innocent, actually. And then I'll go back to the friend. Right? One of the funniest things, so there was this chick that I pulled from a club in New York called LeBain. And her friends, I had to like pull her away from her friends. That's how I opened her, actually. And I did that exact thing, and the friends looked at me, and I was like, hey, oh, by the way, I'm really innocent. I just came up to her for friendship and hugs. That was pretty much about all. It's not like my intentions are to sleep with your friend. They're not. Those are not my intentions. And then they loved me because I was so sarcastic. I was like, it's not like she has an amazing body and just showing it to the world, and I'm just like delicious. Not like that would happen at all. That's not my intentions, yeah. By the way, nice meeting you guys. Where are you from? It was just so ridiculous, so over the top, right? You can do stuff like that if you want. I had this one student on program. He's this really cool like brown guy, from like an Indian guy, and he would always be way too far away from girls. Like he would always be way too. So I told him, I said, you should be so close that you feel a boner every time you talk to a girl. And he was talking to this one chick, and he was very far away again. So I yelled at him. I was like, get a fucking boner! And I pushed him into the girl, and he ended up isolating her. He didn't pull her. He took her like upstairs and stuff. And he came back and he was like, dude, I have a boner. I was like, yeah, there we go. Boner. Right? But does this make sense now?
Yes.
I hope that cleared up a little more. You should be doing this off the open. That's how close you should be. It feels weird, technically, but girls are down for it. They are very, very down for it if you're attractive and if you present yourself attractively. Catch-22, this makes you attractive. Guys who don't do this are not attractive. All right?
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to talk about the fun stuff now. We're going to get... Holy shit, did I just break the monitor by doing that? Oh, no. Well, actually, I see a mark there. Fucking... Okay. So I'm going to... Let's break down the next thing. So it's time to talk about some inner principles, okay? Relaxation. Remember we talked about the internal? Can someone read that again really nice and loud and clear?
The internal amplifies the external and allows you to expand upon the outer attraction. The internal is compromised of how well you handle tension in the environment through being relaxed.
Every person says compromise on this. Everyone.
Comprise.
No, everyone does.
Wow.
It's not just you. He did as well.
I did, really?
Yes. Kelly did it when he read it. I think you read it this before too. No, you never read it. Why do I keep thinking you were a student?
I did what?
No, never mind. No, I've literally never had one student who reads this right.
Wow.
Someone said composed, compromised. Never anyone said comprised. I have to edit this now. Or I've put in bold. It says comprised. I put like a parentheses. Hey, go back and read it again, please, because it says comprised. I'll just go. No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying I'll write it on here. Please go back and read it while they're reading, because you just said the wrong word. No, but I want you to read that again so you can understand. So internal game, we're going to scratch the surface of that here. What does that fucking mean? What is the internal? This is going to be some deep level social dynamics we're going to go over right now, okay? I had this, again, anytime you have questions, go ahead and cut me off. It's fine. I had this crazy epiphany in the beginning of 2017. I had started a mentorship program that I ended last year as well, where I would coach guys for a month. And I would take them out, and I would do like program like this, but it was over a month. It was 8 sessions, and it was shorter sessions, but it was over a month. And I had this one student, and he was this black kid who was very physically unattractive, like he was super out of shape, didn't dress well, wore like these really big weird jeans and ugly shoes, and he just had glasses, like nerdy glasses, had terrible hair, just no facial hair. I felt bad for the kid. Like, I'm not trying to trash him, he's a really cool kid, but he was very unattractive, so my job was harder because girls were predisposed to not like that kind of guy. So what happened was we went on program, and it's 4 weeks. On the 3rd week, we were inside this club, and the whole program, he had gotten a little more confident, but there was something that wasn't clicking. And I realized, but something on the looks, I was wondering, what is it? And I had an epiphany in my coaching. So as like someone who's doing this, you generally have different like realizations you have in game, but also as a coach, you have realizations with students. So I had this crazy realization. We were in this club called The Park in Manhattan, and we were sitting and we were approaching. It was like around 2 a.m. The night circles at 4. Everything in Manhattan closes at 4. Same here. Actually, some of them close at 5. So we're inside the park, and he just kept getting blown out over and over and over. Like, it just kept happening over. Like, girls just didn't like him. It had been happening through the program. He had a few good interactions, but I knew the girls weren't attracted to him. They were just being friendly. And I just sat and I thought, and all of a sudden, it just fucking hit me. The reason why he's not having success is because he's scared. But it's not scared like a fear like, oh my God, I'm shaking as I'm on program. It's more of a subconscious fear. And I said, we'll call him John. I said, John, we're going to end program tonight. I'll add an extra week because I ended early. But I need to go home and think about some things. And I ended up actually mentoring him more long term, and I canceled the program with him. And because I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But he's actually much better now. And what I came up with is this, tension. And I realized, I thought about this, I thought about all the students I had that suffered with approach anxiety, all the students I had that struggled with game and all that stuff. And the reason why, the ultimate reason, like all this is great, but you'll understand when I explain it, it all comes down to this one thing called tension. So, someone go ahead and give this a read. Since he's writing, you want to just read it?
Yeah, sure. Tension is the external pressure that is exerted upon you by different social situations. Your ability to handle this tension is what makes you an attractive man. The better you handle tension, the better you express your masculinity.
Yeah. So what does this mean? When you go out, when you approach women, or when you go out and do anything, there is this blanket over society, over all of us, and it's called tension. That's what I call it. And I have a background in psychology, by the way. I taught psychology for a year before I bombed out of my studies because of game. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I taught psychology at Rutgers University. So tension, you've heard of Rutgers? You know Rutgers, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Northeast school, yeah. So tension is this blanket that exists in society that makes people feel pressure to act a certain way. There's all kinds of different tension. There's sexual tension. There's social pressure, which is another tension. There's tension from people like looking at you and you feeling self-conscious about that. And people handle tension in different ways. Some people handle tension better than others. When is there no tension at all? When is there the least amount of tension? When is there like zero tension ever? I didn't hear you. I was burping.
When you're alone, completely alone.
Correct. When you're alone, when you're in your house, jerking off, taking a fucking shower, or about to go to sleep. There's no tension. That's why when we're behind closed doors, we do weird shit, like sing weirdly or scratch our asses and smell it. Or you guys are gonna be like, Tim? No, I don't do that. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm gonna stop. But we do all these weird things that everyone jokes about, but we know everyone does weird shit. Pick our noses and look at it, all those kind of things, right? The reason we do it behind closed doors is because there's tension. There's no tension, right? Not all tension's bad. Not all tension's bad, but there is tension that exists, right? So when you're by yourself at home, that's when there's zero tension. Let's go up the pyramid. When's another layer of almost no tension, but there's a little more tension? What's another layer? So let's pick a situation where there'd be a little more, but almost none, but there's a little more.
Like if I was with like my wife or
Okay.
my best friend.
Okay.
Because you can be almost naked or completely naked. And
Correct.
There's no tension.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's a next to no.
But
tension.
there probably is a little bit of just not even tension like you would notice, but like you probably wouldn't like I don't know. There's like almost nothing you wouldn't do.
It's not being alone in bed though. I mean, you still have someone there.
Correct.
Still
Right.
A presence.
Correct. Does that make sense? Right? So there's that layer of tension. What's like another layer? Maybe when you're with like a group of close friends. Like when you're with a group of close friends, not your best friend, like who you could be in your fucking boxers in front of, but like, and not everyone even has a friend that close. But like when you're with another group of friends maybe, who like you're not as close to, but like you would totally have a sleepover with them, or like they fly in and you'd like let them crash at your place, right? That's the next level, right? How about when you go outside? How about when you go to work? There's more tension, right? Now it gets different. Now you have to be a politician, quote unquote politician. You have to act a certain way. Is that bad? I personally don't think it's bad. I think it's bad when it limits you from expressing yourself. And a lot of guys, especially in pickup, think that expressing yourself means acting like a fucking idiot. Like expressing yourself means like saying the craziest, dumbest shit. To me, that's not expressing yourself. To me, that's just, again, being an idiot. But like things like if you can't like talk to people and things like that because you're afraid of what other people will think, that's bad. Sure, bad is relative, but that's something that you probably want to overcome. But that's another element of tension. You're at work now. The tension comes from people around you, from this little weird like energy. Like, what does this person think about what I say? What does this person think? And it's all bouncing off each other, right? What do they think? What do they think? What do they think? What do they think? That's where the tension comes from there, right? And it can go even deeper than that. Let's go up a level. Add some more tension. Go to the club.
Women, yeah, exactly.
Well, not women yet. We'll get there. We'll go to the club. Or let's take a little off. What do you think has more tension? A job interview, a new job interview, or going to a club?
Club, definitely.
Club? Okay, so job interview. Really? So it's very, very close, right? So job interview. Where's the tension there? Have you guys ever been in a group interview before?
I have sucks balls. Hate it so much.
I love group interviews. It's always destroyed.
Auditions, yeah.
Auditions, similar, very similar, right?
Yeah.
What is the thing there? Who's like the leader, right? But you don't want to seem too much the leader, like you're trying to take over. But you do want to assert yourself, because if you don't assert yourself, you'll get drowned out. Right? The tension there comes from the people that you're performing with, and then the person who's in charge as well. What do they think of you? Is that bad? It's not bad, but if you handle that tension better, you probably could have a leg up over everyone else. I learned this actually early on before I started Viking. All my job interviews had been group interviews. And what happened was I would go and I would, in these group interviews, I would do really fucking well, and I would always gotten the job. I like easily, because I wasn't affected by tension because I'd done so much cold approach. So I was so used to like putting myself in scary situations with women that when I was in a group of people, hot girls, the boss, other guys, to me it was just like a joke. I didn't realize that I was following some of these principles, not the man-to-woman thing, but the locking in and stuff. We'll get into that. I literally would follow those principles and it would work, and I would have a leg up over everyone else. Why? I was handling tension. I didn't know it at the time, but I was very less affected by it than others. And I also had an advantage of that with this because my parents. Growing up, I had a good childhood, even though they were religious and programmed me to be afraid of women for the first 19 years of my life. Aside from that, this is not even a big deal. It's not like my career is based on the opposite of that or anything. Aside from that, they did teach me how to handle tension very well, because I grew up, like, I was homeschooled. I never went to regular school. So except for college, of course, but I grew up in homeschool. I'm under my mom as my tutor and other tutors. So I grew up around other adults, and my mom socialized me. I traveled to other countries and met all these kind of people. Let's make sure the Sennheisers are still good, right? And what would happen is, I learned how to handle tension that way, right? I literally learned how to handle tension and not be affected by it because of my childhood. So that's another advantage I had, I guess. Maybe if I didn't have that childhood, I would have had a much harder journey in game. Let's add another level to it. The club. You go to the club. Is there tension? Depending on who you are. For me now, there's very minimal tension. There still is. If I'm like in a new club or a club that's very, very high end, I will be a little nervous. But there's still very minimal tension. Why?
Experience.
Sorry. Why is there tension if you're not experienced?
Just lack of experience.
Well, where's the tension coming from?
Your expectations.
No, you guys are thinking too philosophically. This is very simple. Not an easy answer, but the answer is just so simple. You guys are thinking too deep on this. You're thinking too.
So if it's not like what?
Very cool.
Oh, so if it's not.
You really want to say something? Say it.
Go for it.
I was just gonna say, I mean, like a social gathering in general is gonna cause tension. So I mean, this is a high stakes social gathering.
Where is it coming from?
From the social attractiveness of the people that are potentially there.
A little less philosophical, but still too philosophical.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say something similar to that. I'm not good at.
Loud music. Boom, 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 boom.
I
Right.
used to perform on stage, so I don't mind that.
Okay. Other people that are all interacting, and you have to join those interactions. I know you were hinting at that, but you were going really deep with it. You're like expectation.
Yeah.
No, you're like I need to talk to someone because everyone else is talking. That's a simple answer.
Yeah, right.
You basically got it, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
Sure.
There's that. What else is there? Lights, flashing lights all around, and everyone is affected by it differently. So maybe you were able to handle it better than you, or you handle it better than you. Everyone's different. What's another thing? Like the pressure to meet a girl. Right? I'm not even up to like the picking up chicks yet, but I'm talking about the pressure to meet a girl. There's hot girls around. Whenever there's a hot girl around, generally like your mental flags goes up. Right? It's like generally I think when there's like right now, if like some chick knocked on the door and was like, "Excuse me, there's a you guys would all probably all look at me and be like, "What does Tim do? Does he pull?" I'll be like, "Hey guys, the veteran's like, I'm on program." But does that make sense? Right? Let's add another layer of pressure. Oh, really? Actually, no. I'll give that example later. What's one more layer of tension?
Like while you're at the club.
Nope. Add another situation where there's more tension.
Another tension. I would say.
Is this making sense to you guys so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say like not having a limp dick when you're about to put it in.
That is just a bad situation. I'm talking about situations you would get in all the time. Like another one would be on a date. A date.
Okay.
I'm sure we've all been there, like on a date where you're like, I could make out with the girl, but you don't. Has there been moments where you're like, I probably could make out with the girl right now, but I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
it,
it's just so much, yeah.
right? Where does that cause from? You can imagine that. I'm sure you've seen movies where the guy like he likes the girl and doesn't make the move.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? I've been there countless times.
Hesitating. Just
Tension.
like-
No, where does it come
Oh.
from? It's tension. Tension.
Yeah.
It's tension. That's what it is. It's tension.
I thought you were asking me a question. I was like,
Well, I am asking you a question, but you said hesitation. But that's not what it is. It's tension. It comes from this. There's this social pressure when you're on a date as well, where it's like, I can't make a move right now on this girl because of these reasons. Because of whatever reason it is, I can't make a move on this girl right now.
Sure.
That is tension. Right? That's the element of tension. So it's like when you meet that girl, when she's like there on the date, and you're like, I should make a move right now. What do you begin to do?
freak out.
Freak out about what happens. Tell me what happens. Let's break this down. I'm getting to a point here, but I want you guys to do it for me. What happens? So you feel like, okay, I could make out with the girl. What do you do next?
You start thinking about reasons why you shouldn't.
Yes, that's one.
Instead of just doing it.
That's one, correct. But then you're like, no, I definitely should. I know I should. And then what do?
I just go for it.
You go for it. But before you even go for it, in the split second, you probably move your body in a position where you think you probably could get the makeout better.
Yeah, sure.
Probably. You shift. You probably wouldn't even
Position
tell.
yourself
This
for it.
is how I know as an instructor when I teach certain things when we're out in field. Because I'm looking at your body language. You asked how I teach you, if it's loud and shit. Most of the time, I'm not actually standing listening to every word you're saying. Most of the time, you'll be here and I'll be next to you on the wall kind of looking at your body language. And the second I see a little tick, that I like a second, I'll see you kind of like go like this, I'll instantly be like, yo, just fucking leave. Because I know you thought about it just now. How do I know? Because of this. Because the second we feel tension, here's the problem now. Here's why tension's bad. This is what I was getting to the whole time. The second your body feels tension, or your mind, you feel tension, your body activates this fight or flight response. And you begin to, it's not even extreme. It's not even like I have to fight someone, or well, in your case, potentially fight someone. But generally, look, I'm gonna be telling fighting jokes the whole program, bro. I'm sorry. You set yourself up for that. Cool.
I did.
But but what happens is like the fight or flight response is not necessarily hardcore activated, right? You're not like I have to run or I have to fight necessarily, but you still feel that urge, and what happens is your body begins to act in certain ways that are not attractive. This is why when guys who are new at game, completely new, and this will probably happen to you this weekend, but I'll correct it, when they go up to girls, they don't have eye contact. Naturally, if you want to fuck a woman, you should fucking seduce her. How do you have sex in bed? The man to woman frame is an extension of what you do during sex. That honestly is what it is. It's penetrative and masculine energy. Now I'm getting into energy and stuff. It's masculine energy. But you lose your masculine energy when you begin to physically react to tension. That's the problem. That's why guys like struggle with women. If you as a man are able to handle tension without reacting to it, you're always gonna win. You're not gonna lose. That doesn't mean every woman's gonna want to fuck you, because women also have preferences. But your odds of winning are gonna go much higher because you're not reacting to tension. The second you don't react to tension, that's when you're gonna win. You're gonna be able to be man to woman without thinking about it. The problem is getting there. It's very hard. It is actually very hard. Not gonna lie. Now, the example I want to give kind of is when the masculine trait of handling tension is not reacting to it. So again, remember the whole like eye contact thing. Why do you think I told you guys to make eye contact, proximity, and physicality?
Oh, you're asking a question?
Yeah.
Because you're demonstrating that you're able to handle tension.
Yes. You're actually not even demonstrating, you're creating it on purpose.
Yeah.
You're creating tension on purpose. When you go up, again, the more attractive a man is, this is some nasty shit, right? You like this. A masculine man is, and I came up with this myself, so yeah. Fuck yeah. The things we're going over tomorrow I learned from my mentors, but this is all me. Fuck yeah. So like tension, as a masculine man, the masculine trait is not reacting to tension. The feminine trait is deflecting tension. Think of it during sex. When you're having sex. Now, if one of you guys is like super feminine doesn't mean high like that. Feminine means the way you interact with the world. If one of you guys is super feminine and you enjoy the woman saying, flip around, let me fuck you in the ass. No judgment, okay? But go ahead.
You mean like being submissive, right?
Submissive is an element of feminine energy, but that's not what I mean necessarily. I'm purely talking about deflecting tension. I'll explain. So during sex, for example, sex is an exchange of energy. So energy is like this ball that during sex you exchange back and forth, right? And what happens is during sex, who is the one who's dictating the pace usually? The man. And what is the woman doing? Following. But how does she express it? What does she do? Yes. Do the moan. No. You have to demonstrate how she does it. I was looking for a sound. No. But she moans. She says, pull my hair. She opens her body up. What do you do as a man? You dominate and penetrate. I'm being real though here.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tension. It's the same thing when you're doing cold approach and meeting a woman. It's just an extension of what you would do in the bedroom. So as a feminine woman, some women are more masculine and handle tension really fucking well. Those women, to be honest with you guys, I do shitty with. I hate talking to girls like that.
Dominant woman?
Yeah, I don't like dominant. We said what? Dominant or what?
Dominant woman or pain ass?
Pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass? No. I'm not talking about pain in the ass. I'm talking about women that are more masculine, that have masculine traits. Like women that have more like super leadership traits and things like that. Yeah, dominant. I think that those women are like awesome and like I would love for any of them to work on my team or anything like that. Great. But sexually, I don't really vibe with those women because I'm a much more masculine man. And again, I'm masculine from the extent of I'm not like raw masculine dude, but I don't have a lot of feminine energy. Like I'm not deflecting tension ever. Like I rarely do that shit. And that's what makes my game good. But so this is tension. So when you go up to a woman, the woman, just think, what does a woman do that makes you attracted to her? Like how do you know a woman's attracted to you? What does she do?
Deflects tension.
But how does she do it?
Well, like flicking her hair.
Flicking her hair, giggling,
Blinking,
laughing at your jokes. Right, breaking eye contact sometimes, acting bashful, things like that. That's how you know a woman's attracted to you, right? Because she's deflecting tension. If you did that to a woman, would she be attracted to you?
No.
She would assume you're gay, correct? Because that's not an attractive behavior, right? Now, learning how to handle this tension is important. And it's so funny, guys. So I used to be a nightclub promoter. And I would see it all the fucking time with guys in the club, dude. It was so sad. So as a promoter in New York, what time is it? So I can make sure you have time for infield. Cool, we're doing good. So I would see it all the time with guys in the club, like all the fucking time. I would go out and there would be like, so as a promoter in New York, what happens is a lot of times you get a table and you have bottles at your table and you want to bring like a bunch of girls to your table so you can get paid for bringing those girls. Or you get a guy to buy bottles. You get commission on his bottle service, but I would do that sometimes. But the example I'm going to use is the girls. So I'd bring out like 5 to 10 girls at a table, and most of the promoters in New York like are pretty good looking, like cool guys. Like they're all relatively in shape. They all look like either like super fuckboy or they look like a football player, that type, right? And what happens is they bring girls to the club, and what we do is we hit up our leads and we message all these girls, and we hope that some of the local college girls and like the foreign girls that are visiting, all the numbers we've gotten in the clubs from beforehand can come out, basically. Occasionally what will happen is you'll get a guy that wants to come with them. You don't want to bring guys to clubs generally because it's low value. Like, just that was the way the nightlife marketplace works. Guys are more dicks in the club. They want guys to pay money for hot girls. It's not actually, most guys actually get offended by it. Like, pickup guys are like, why can't we get in the club? Why they only want girls in? Well, the reason why is not actually because they hate guys, but you guys actually run the nightlife because they want you to buy white women drinks. And that's where they make their money. That's why they want more women and less guys, because the more women you have, the more guys can buy drinks for women, right?
That's how bars work.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, right? It's just money.
Attract women.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what happened is occasionally you'll get like one of the girls saying, hey, can I bring my guy friend or whatever? He's coming out for a birthday party. And if I have a birthday party of 15 girls, I'm going to bring one guy because it's not going to be a huge deal, and I was fuck it, he can come in for free, right? So what happens is if you're a guy who's not attractive and doesn't have access to these cool parties regularly, that's going to be a weird situation for you. You're lucky to be there. So what happened is I would see these promoters, and it happened to me a few times, but mainly them because I wasn't at that high level, but a lot of these other guys, they'll have their sick table in this nice ass club, and they'll bring their 10 girls, and it's like some jacked black dude who's like leading the girls in, and they'll be like the one like guy who's like lucky because his girlfriend brought him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he happened to be there at the right time, or the one guy whose friend was like, this is my friend John, and she's completely in the friend zoned with her, and there's no way he's gonna fuck her, right? And what'll happen is he'll get to the table. We'll get to the table, and the promoter will be pouring drinks for all the girls, the music's starting. And the guy, what he'll do is he's like literally like, oh, thank you, man. Like complete reaction to the guy, the promoter, who is in charge of the table. And one second, and the promoter is literally like, when the music plays loud music and stuff, he's just standing there fucking chilling like a fucking pimp. And he ends up taking one of the girls home. Half the time it's the girl that the guy came with, or multiple girls back to his after party, and he's not reacting. While the guy is literally like, the music plays, he's like looking at the girls kind of like, yeah, I should dance. And the girls don't really want to talk to him. They just want to have fun and maybe get laid if they don't have boyfriends like that, right? And he'll just be dancing and dancing, and when the music plays, he like starts to move, or then the song changes and the girls start to dance, and he'll be like, ha ha ha, cheers, like that. And now I'm not trying to make fun of these guys or be a dick, but it's factually true that they're buckling under tension, which makes the promoter who owns the table and doesn't dance when the music comes on because he doesn't feel like it, or when his bro comes over, he will dance because he feels like it. That guy who's not reacting is more attractive than the guy who came to the table because of the handling of tension. Tension, do you guys understand the concept of tension? Not how to handle it, but we're going to get into how to handle tension right now. Do you guys understand the concept, though, what it is, why it affects you, why it's not, why you don't want it to affect you? The second you start to move and react to it, the second you feel that, you get that nervous tick, you're unattractive because you're reacting, and that's feminine energy. It's very simple. The girl doesn't think of it like this. It's not like the girl's like, you're feminine. No, it's more just it's just subconscious energy exchange. Okay. So, how do we learn using the external? How do we learn to handle tension?
Be relaxed.
Relaxation. Someone read this. Try to read it slow. Practice your cadence as well. Yeah, you speak very, very fast. I thought I spoke fast. I think you speak a little faster than me.
Okay. I will try my best. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Relaxation is a state of being, not a state you have to achieve or work to get into. When you are relaxed, you are not affected by the tension that exists in the environment. Thus, you are not looking for an escape, which makes you more attractive to the woman around you.
Mm-hmm. So that's what relaxation is. Relaxation is how you handle tension. Being relaxed is how you handle the tension that exists when you go out. That's what it means to be truly relaxed. It's where you don't react to tension. Now, as you get better at game and you develop your internal, you get way better at this and you don't even think about this shit. But tonight, we're going to be thinking about this. And this is going to be what we're going to be working on tonight. These two things. Being man to woman and being relaxed. We're not going to work on pulling. We're not going to work on any of that. So the first night of program, I used to run 3-day programs. That was when I was staying out till 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. and dying every night. I decided I want to live and be healthy. So I added in Thursday. The reason I added Thursday and made it a 4-day program is so we could have this day to just get used to each other and fuck around. Like, that's why the intro is a little longer, because I know that I fuck around more on the first night intro, because I want you guys to be comfortable and I want to be comfortable with you. So tonight when we go out, I'm not going to stress that you guys do a fuck ton of game. We're going to end it relatively early. We're going to end around 3. Around 2. And we'll do our debrief. And Friday and Saturday, we're going to go hard as fuck. But tonight, I literally just want you to relax. I just want you to chill out. That doesn't mean don't take action. I'm going to motivate you to open here and there. I'm going to do a bit of game myself. But I only want you to focus on being in the club, chilling out and interacting with women from a relaxed frame. So relaxation, when you're being relaxed, it's not something that you have to get into. So that's why it's not a state. It is the way of being. It's how you relate to the world around you, right? It's when you see these girls giving you different feedback, how do you respond to them? Are you responding like with frantic energy, trying to get into, work yourself into this state? No, you are just relaxed. It's where, in a way, this is kind of even bad. Like, sometimes when loud noises go off, like, I don't even flinch at it because I'm literally so non-reactive. Maybe that's not even great, but, like, that's what being relaxed is, a state of being, right? Meditation outside of game can help with this, just becoming a more relaxed person. But one thing I also want to say is relaxation doesn't mean low energy. When I'm talking right now, do you guys think I'm a high energy or low energy guy? Be honest.
Medium.
High medium.
Yeah, high to medium, right? And I used to be much more when I was unrelaxed. But even now, my natural default state and way of being is very like, hey, let's fucking do this. I am a very high energy. I was much like you actually when I first started game. Like I talked that fast and I was that high energy. Like it was insanity, right? But what happens is now that I'm more relaxed, I'm not necessarily lower energy per se, but I am more grounded. I'm more grounded and present, right? So it's not like I'm not going to get into like presence and all that stuff with you guys here because I don't think that's necessarily necessary to learn this. But the context is I'm not in a state where I'm trying to win or trying to get a certain result. It is purely I'm fine with the reactions I'm getting and I'm going to respond accordingly and follow the process. Does that make sense? And the process we'll go over tomorrow. So let's get into it. How do you actually become relaxed? Hack number 1. Locking in. This is the single most powerful thing that you can do in game. Aside from being man-tone, which is like the root, the core, this is the best body language hack you can do for yourself. What does it mean to lock in? I talk about this in my videos a lot on YouTube because it's so powerful. Oh, you don't know what it means to lock in?
No, I have an idea, but no, not really.
Okay.
I don't know. No.
So this is what locking in means. Positioning yourself in a way that makes you feel and makes others around you feel like you are the most least invested person in the environment. That's the definition of locking in. There's so many definitions, but that's the way I define it. Right? He heard a woman's voice. He was like, I want to pull. Me too. I heard it too. And I was like, let's open. Oh, I thought it was a woman. I was like, let me go open. Well, I was telling kitten jokes earlier. Maybe it's kittens with honey on them. Yummy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fucking wrecked. All right. Don't judge me, Adam. Don't judge me.
No judgment, yeah.
No, but so locking in is positioning your body in a spot in the environment that makes you feel the most relaxed or makes you appear to be relaxed. Because when I tell you guys to lock in, you're probably not going to be relaxed. Like, for sure. We're inside of Live or Story or fucking Aura, wherever we go this weekend. You are not going to be relaxed. I'm positive. Like, there's going to be stunning girls. I'm going to be putting pressure on you. You're going to see him opening. You're going to see him opening. Kelly's going to have the camera near me. You probably won't even pay attention to it, but you're not going to be fucking relaxed, for sure. But you can still look like you are. You can still fake it until you make it, right? So what relaxation means, what locking in means, is physically positioning yourself in a spot that makes you feel relaxed. So if I'm talking to a girl, I'm going to be standing like this. Instead of like this, with my drink in my hand, like, I'm going to win. I'll have the drink. Let's say I have a drink. I always have a drink usually. Like this. The positioning of my body is one of non-investment. You see, I'm not even positioning myself like, going to try. On dates, for example, when I'm on a date, instead of me sitting like this, no, it's more like it's hard to do on this chair.
You're like leaning back, basically?
Yes. It's more of a like this, like a stretched out vibe, right? Yeah. It's a less on edge. And what this does for you is so fucking powerful when you learn how to lock in. It is mind-blowing what this does for you. The first thing it does, and this is the most important thing it does, it makes you feel like you're relaxed, even if you're not. So I've literally had students that were freaking the fuck out in the club. Like they were like, fuck, I don't think I can do this. And I literally was like, it's fine. Like, you'll probably die. Most likely, that's probably what's going to happen at the end of the night. But just lock in anyways. That's me. Like, when people like give excuses, I don't like deny the excuse. You're like, dude, she's gonna reject me. I'm like, she'll probably fucking stab you and kill you, to be honest. Like, no joke. But you can still lock in. At least do that. And what I'll do is I'll tell them to lock in, and they'll lock in. They'll lean against the wall, cross their legs, or put their hands in their pocket. And then their mind, their internal, gets just that little bit closer to being relaxed and being the guy who is not deflecting tension. Just that little bit. It makes you feel everything's gonna be okay.
What should my facial expression be like?
I'm not gonna even coach you on that. People. That's so too much to even think of. Just focus on the body. You know what I mean? It's good to know sometimes, but like, so the simple answer is just like a flat, bored look on your face. That's how my face usually looks. But I don't want you to do that because that's not you.
Yeah.
That's me. Because I'm genuinely bored with most women.
Yeah.
Right? That's number one. So when you lock in, it makes you feel like you're more relaxed. You are literally using the external to create an internal feeling for yourself. If you do this over and over and over again, now you guys can see kind of what I was talking about, the internal. Just think, me doing this for 3 fucking years straight, or I've been gaming for like 6 years, but locking in I've been doing for 3. That begins to stick with you. You begin to always feel, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. To finally, you're just like, you could stand like this, you could just go like this, and everything feels fine. Or like that, and everything feels fine, right? The second thing, part of locking in. The second thing locking in does for you, and this is not written here. It reframes the interaction between you and the woman. It reframes the interaction between you and the girl. Most guys who go up to a woman and approach her, are they the buyer or the seller?
Buyer. They're trying to buy her. Like, they're trying to get something from her.
I get what your logic is correct, but it's the wrong term. The seller. They're the seller.
They're trying to sell themselves to her.
Correct. They're trying to sell themselves, right? They're not the ones who's like, will I choose you? They're more so like, take me, take me, take me. And this is again presented physically by them standing like this. Drink. Oh, I see you have a drink there. Nice. Usually the guys are kind of doing I see this all the time, the moving. I love, I don't know what to call this, but it's like the head bob, the drink high. Cheers. Like that, right? But the second you lock in, the second you go like this, who the fuck are you, little girl? And this is literally how I talk, man, in the club. I mean, I'm a little louder maybe because the music, but I'm not like, where are you from, little girl? No, I'm literally just like in here. I'm like, where the fuck are you from, little girl? Yeah. And she's like, little girl, excuse me? I'm like, oh, excuse me. No, you're just so cute. I just wanted to say that. Right? Again, the frame I'm coming from is what? Appreciative. Oh, she's such a cute little girl. And it's not like a misogynistic thing. I want to emphasize that because some guys will take this very far. And they'll be, not far in a good way. They'll take it very bad. And they'll be like, yeah, they're all just insignificant little girls. They're dumb. No, they're not. You just have to make the first move because you're a guy, so I'm teaching you how to make the first move work. Okay? That's the second thing locking in does. It reframes. It makes the girl feel and understand this guy is no longer the seller, he is the buyer. Or, to be honest, and some guys disagree with this, but I'd say you're always pretty much the seller. As a man, even me, I'm the seller. I'm still trying to get laid. Like if a girl's like girls will still occasionally, like if I say something, for example, I was almost pulling this girl and then I forgot her name. I told you it has never fucked me up, but only fucked me up once. It did. I forgot her name. Yeah. And she was like, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm a fuck boy. I don't remember it. And usually that line would work. She'd be like, oh my God, you're so funny. But she was like, wow, I don't do that. And she walked away and I was like, damn it. Yeah. I didn't want you anyways. No, I really wanted her. She was hot. But so like that kind of example, I'm still like the seller, right? I'm still the fucking seller, but I could just make it look a little more like I'm the buyer. Even the tables make it more of an exchange of energy instead of buying and selling. So that's what locking in does. That's the second thing. The third thing locking in does, and is the final major benefit of locking in, is it helps other people around you feel like you and that girl already belong together. Because don't forget, if you're with a girl in a club, when you were married, did you ever go to like clubs with her or whatever, or like go to a party here and there?
Yeah, we go to parties and stuff.
Yeah, when you guys would be at the bar and stuff, I assume usually you'd be chilled out, not worry about who was gonna pick her up, right? Because it's just like, it's my girl. I mean, whatever. So when you're locked in, you're positioning yourself that same way. You're putting yourself in the position for her of a guy that she's already been with. You're making other people realize she's already been with you, and you feel like she's already been with you. This is that maximum reframe. That's what locking in does for you. Does that make sense? So tonight, guys, I want you to constantly be locked in. When you open, fucking lock in. Like literally, it's like, yo, can I meet you? if she gives you a handshake, turn around and put your and lean up against the bar. The place we're going to tonight has a long bar that we can lean up against. Hack number 2, slow warm-ups. What does this mean? Don't try to bang out high energy approaching early on in the night. When you go out, guys go out, a lot of times what they do is they build their energy up to here, and it gets fucking insane because the night, everyone comes in and everyone's stifled, but the pickup guy, you probably wouldn't have this problem because you haven't done a lot of game. This is probably something you would struggle with. The pickup guy comes in at 11 and is like, I'm here to do game! And they're like high energy, opening everyone. When in actuality, it's like the energy is just, it's incongruent. So they get blown out, or not huge success early on, and then later when everyone's actually ready to get laid. I don't mean later in the night. I'm not saying 3, 4, because I don't believe that you only have to pull at 3 or 4. You can pull at fucking 12, 1, 11, whatever, but your energy has to be congruent to the energy of the environment, right? The same way, I would never go up to like a bar during the day, at night, and be like, oi, you there! Like, I used to kind of do that shit, but I think it's just fucking stupid now. It's just like, you don't need to do this kind of openers. The reason why is because your energy is incongruent. Even later on, you don't need to do that, but that would work probably better later on. But don't warm up fast. Instead, what you should do is warm up slow. When you get into the club, like tonight, guys, this is probably gonna kill you inside. Tonight, so guys, this is gonna be crazy. I'm not gonna make you guys do this, but this is how I do my game. Kelly, I'm curious if you know this at all. Like, I'm curious if you know the answer to this, because you've watched me do a lot of game. When do I usually get my first approach of the night? Like my first real open. Like, let me say hi to a girl and try to fucking pull. That's a terrible answer.
I mean, you're just like, usually from what I've observed, you're like chilling and with a girl you like walks by, you'll just hi.
Yeah, but when I come in, I'm not banging that out all the time, right? So usually, my first approach, I get around like 12:30 or 1. Usually, sometimes even 1:30 a.m. Slow warm-ups. Don't try to bang out high energy approaching early in the night. Match the energy of the environment. And the last one before we take our break, and we'll questions and then we'll take a break, is think before you approach. So open with lust, not the need to approach. You should not open girls just to open them. This whole program, I'm going to be asking you one question that I ask you a lot on program is, are you attracted to her? Are you attracted to her? The reason why is because I only want you to communicate with women that you're attracted to. If you're not attracted to the girl, you shouldn't be opening her. I only want you to communicate with women that you're genuinely attracted to. Does that make sense? You shouldn't be interacting with women that you find unattractive. You shouldn't be opening just to get an opening in. That's one of the worst things you can do in my opinion. You want to train yourself. Okay, I'm talking to women that I actually want. There's a reason for this that we're going to go over on the end of program. But you should not be opening. Now, here's the thing. If you're stifled as fuck, by the way, this one's also dimmed out. If you're stifled as fuck and you can't talk to any girl, like, and you're just like, fuck, I feel like shit, I don't mind if you open a girl that's relatively unattractive just to make yourself talk. Or even a guy. Like, I'll do that sometimes. Like, if I'm filming infield and I'm like, I can't speak to anyone, I'll just be like, dude, how are you doing, man? And I'll be like, I feel like shit right now, but you know what? I'm saying what's up. That's fine. But you shouldn't be like, I'm going to go like game the fat chick, or I'm going to game the girl with the hideous face. If you attempt to pull a woman that is below, we'll go with a 6 on my program, I will personally try to think of a threat, because I usually say I will fuck the girl and send you the photos, but I'm not doing that one. I'll personally, it's not going to be good. Let's just go with that. Now, I wouldn't do anything really bad, but all right, guys. So what we'll do is now we'll take a bathroom break first, actually, and then you guys can think of whatever questions you have, and we're gonna crack out some infield.
I don't react to the I don't react to like the rejection. The rejection means nothing to me. Like when the girl rejects me, it's not even a rejection. I'm not even saying the thing like rejection shouldn't hurt. Fuck that. I'm saying I don't react to it. Like physically, like if the girls are like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm with him, I'll be like, all right, and then I just walk. Or I'll be like, really? You with this man? Like what you did, you were like, oh hey bro, and you like shook his hand and no, fuck that. I'm not saying be a dick and fight people. I shouldn't have been yelling earlier. I'm losing my voice. I'm gonna be done by Saturday. Jesus Christ. But I'm not saying you should be a dick and fucking fight people. That's like not good advice. But what I am saying is that you shouldn't be coming from a frame of like reactiveness. Like when he's like, this is my guy, I'd be like, oh hey bro, no, like fuck that. Like really, like he's your friend. How close is your friend? If anything, look at him and be like, yo, I'm gonna borrow her for 2 seconds, I'll bring her right back. Like literally, I'm fucking gay, dude. I know her from back in the day. Like, assert yourself, man. Fucking assert yourself. Like, you be at the cross on the effect. Okay. And I'm speaking more to you, because you have more reference with this. I'm gonna be getting on you a lot more later, but I've seen it out more. This still applies to you, for sure. But I don't think it's your problem. I can see your game already, and I know what you need to work on. You don't need to work on this. This is your issue. Like, stop fucking reacting to shit. Like, stop reacting to it. Like, literally be like, be mean. You need to start being more mean. Like, start being more bashful. But I'll save my real rant for the debrief. Let's go do some more games. We'll go to the streets. You guys are both doing really good. Yo, friend. Like, on the side. She's not attractive, though. When your student A-logs and he's utter 100% savage. Look, he's like being so reactive. He has nice shoes though. But see, what's happening right now is he is losing the emotional frame that he had before. So he had it, but he's losing the emotional frame he was going with. So now it's super logical, and the girl's like getting into a logical frame. She's like, oh, let me get back to the guy that I was talking to before. He needs to keep up the emotional frame. It's getting too logical right now. Not that he has to be in state to do anything, right? Fuck state, but like, it's still too emotional. He should be more in a, I mean, it's too logical. He should be more in an emotional frame. I'm exhausted. My voice is like breaking right now. Saba. This is my friend.
What?
This is my friend.
Oh, hey, I'm.
I'll give you a hug. Why you make it so awkward and shit?
I thought you have a really good Indian name, but you don't.
You thought her name was Sharon? Sharon from the
Well,
east.
it's Saturday.
What are you guys doing right now?
That's what
Punjabi.
What are you guys doing right now? What are you and your friend doing?
We're hanging out.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait.
What's going on right now?
2 seconds. All right, Sharon, focus. I know those guys. They're cool. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea who the fuck they are.
Oh my god.
I think they like know RSD or
What's
some
your
shit.
name?
What? What's my name? Tim.
Tim?
Yeah, I love you. You seem really cool. Honestly, I'm in love with you because your pants. Like,
My pants?
yeah, they're just like. So I'm from New York.
Someone was like, did Kanye
I'm from
make
New York.
them?
What's your friend's name?
She's from England.
You are an alpha dog. I love you.
Yeah.
Are you hand of godding me?
Huh?
Are you hand of godding me?
Am I what?
Oh, you don't know what that is. She doesn't know what it is. Let's go. No, it's like where you grab someone's hand and you're like, come to me. Now. I love it.
That didn't occur to me, but
What's your I wasn't even pressing you.
I'm doing fine.
You seem really cool. What are you guys doing right now?
I have no idea.
Do you guys want to come to another bar with us? We're probably gonna grab drinks and shit. You guys should come.
What bar? Isn't it all closing soon?
Oh, you have an accent too. That's awesome.
Oh.
We're probably gonna pop in this one. We were here earlier. You should come. Have you been?
Yeah. Are you a promoter?
No.
Oh,
I'm from New York. I just came here today.
Why is everyone not from Austin? Nobody here is from Austin.
Because fuck Austin.
Fuck Austin.
Where are you from?
Fuck the South.
Where are you from?
Take a guess.
London.
Ding ding ding.
Did you drink it all tonight?
A little bit.
A little bit, I guess. I thought because you're like still super logical. You're not like.
I'm not drunk enough.
Yeah, that's what. When you did that whole like, I'm not gonna meet you, and you're like, you can come over here. You can come here, bitch.
That's not
you basically told me to get on the floor, and you called me. You called me.
That is what happened. I was like,
your little bitch.
I was a breath away from saying, my little bitch, come over here right now.
Do you guys want to come with us? We're gonna go get drinks in there. Do you want to come? For like 5 minutes, and then we'll go.
Jackalope.
Don't worry, we're not kidnapping you. Just hold your arm out, like it's a date. Now it's a date. See? Oh, she was like, no, fuck that shit. Walk with them. Just walk with them. But you have to talk while you're walking with. You have to keep talking while you're walking with. Mama told me, oh, night is so work, oh.
Can I just go get it?
Oh. Bam. They're still being a little like they're too afraid to lead. Like right now, the girls are behind them waiting to get in the bar. I would be like, yo, come to the front. Like come to the front. These 2 girls are with us. Let's go. Like you're always asserting yourself. They're still a little afraid to do that, but it's fine. We'll get these guys in some sets. They're doing great tonight. First night of program. It's the diagnostic, right? And for the first night of program, it's fucking amazing. I'm about to among these guys again. I'm about to steal 2 more girls from them. My students already did it. I'm fucking next row. First of all, good job pushing yourself, of course. For you, I think the biggest thing that we're gonna have to be working on program is 2 things: getting you to assert yourself and getting you comfortable letting go of the game. It sounds really weird, but I'll explain what I mean. So the first thing is asserting yourself. I saw multiple times where you would go and set, maybe 1 or 2 times, where you'd go and set, and you'd be standing off to the side, kind of like, do I reach in now? And that's literally how it looked. Remember when I told you, I was like, take that girl away from that fucking Indian guy?
Be assertive, yeah.
Remember I told you that? I was like, be fucking assertive. You went in, and the first thing you did was you talked to the guy first. It's like you have it in your mind how it's supposed to look. You have the game in your mind. It's in your fucking mind. But your actual external, the exercising of that, you're missing out on. Like you're missing out on that a lot.
Now, what I would suggest for you and what we're going to be doing is we're going to do drills and exercises. So again, you kept telling me over and over, push yourself, push me, challenge me. But again, no, it's fucking diagnostic. I don't want to fucking challenge you. I want to just hang out with you and see how the fuck you operate. That's all I want to do. Tomorrow is going to be that night. Tomorrow I'm going to fucking push you, for sure. Like, that's going to fucking happen. But tonight I do not want to do that with you, because it's not meant for that. It's meant for you to feel comfortable hanging out with me. Tomorrow night we're going to do that. And tomorrow, and Brian also is going to do it probably as well, I'm going to push you very hard to be in interactions where you have to assert yourself and make shit happen. Remember when I told you, I was like, go back and right fucking now, or come with me to the bar.
Yeah.
And it instantly worked.
Yeah.
Like the second half, before you did it, like not when you were going, but when I told you to do it, did you think it would work? Did you think it wouldn't work? Or were you like neutral, like, fuck it, let's see what happens?
I'm just like, fuck it, let's see what happens. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
But I mean, I figured, you're the expert, so you know.
Well,
and
some guys still doubt it.
She wasn't unattractive. It just became an interview, and I was like, I
You
don't want
lost
to do more
attraction.
interviews.
You lost attraction.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean even before you lost attraction, you were just like, okay, this is
I was
pointless.
like, before I lose attraction, this is pointless. I'm going to lose attraction doing this.
Got it.
Let me go find
And
out
that's something I
what's
want to talk to you about as well. That's part of the debrief to break down for you. But you notice how I told you I was like, go in and do it, and you literally went and you were like, oi, come, and you do it, and the girl followed you. That's the kind of things you need to be doing. Not the leading though. I saw when you two were in a set before, you kind of got blown out, and you were sitting there and you were like this, and then the girl went like this and put her elbow next to yours. I saw that stuff. So remember you asked me earlier, like, are you listening to me? I don't need to listen to your words. I don't need to. I see everything you're doing. I see your whole body language. Yeah. I see all those little things, right? That movement that you do, like that is not asserting yourself. What does it mean to assert yourself? It means that the second you go into your interactions, the second you fucking move in, you are at the cause, not the effect. And that is where you need to get. That's what you have to get to.
Okay.
Right? And that's what we're going to be working on for you on program. That's number one. The second thing is being comfortable with physicality, being comfortable being physical and letting go of the game. I noticed you were doing hardcore keno on the girl. The one that group set, remember those 4 girls, those 4 white chicks we all opened together? Well, you opened first, I think, or one of you opened first.
Yeah,
And
I opened first.
actually, no, Alex Valenchek opened first. Then when you guys opened, you guys came in, then I came in. That girl, I saw you holding her hands like this, and she was engaging you like crazy. And I was so curious why you didn't just take her hands like this and put them around you and be like, I'm gonna fucking marry you, girl. Come to the bar now. Well, it's not even freezing though. It's not freezing.
Yeah.
The reason why you didn't do it is because you're still thinking of it in terms of game. You're thinking, what's the next step in the small micro process? What you need to focus on is the macro process. Like, I open this way, I lead this way, this is the next step, this is the next step. But what you're focusing on is like, okay, how do I verbalize this, or how do I physically do this? But what you need to be focusing on is the macro processes, which is like isolate, get her logistics, which is the big things, instead of the little things like, okay, escalation, let me stay in set. No, the only thing you need to do is lock in, dude. You guys, how many girls did I open tonight? 3 girls. Three girls, right? 3 or 4. Like that last one. You guys noticed the interactions I had in tonight. I'm not trying to like brag, but like I'm being honest, like I'm not really like doing hardcore games tonight. Tomorrow I'm gonna probably be much harder. Like I wasn't really like trying, but you notice how technically effortless it looks. Like I'm always locked in. Do you guys notice how I'm always locked in? Every time you saw me with a girl, for the most part, I'm always literally just like this. Constantly, 24/7. And it's an absence of doing game. It's more so just like I'm gonna fuck around, insanely fuck around, and then the girl's gonna give me feedback based on that. So you need to get more of that. You're still doing too much of the doing paradigm and you're not in the being paradigm. You need to get that. How we're gonna get there, I'm not gonna talk about right now. We're gonna do it tomorrow. That's the goal for tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. But you need to get there. That's the secret. So you asked me why I'm not pushing you hard, because I didn't want to do that tonight. That would distract from my goal. Tonight, my goal is to see where you're at so I can make changes. Those are the 2 things you need to work on. Asserting yourself. You need to fucking jump in and tell the girl, hey, I'm fucking here. Who are you? Love me. That's kind of like not the words, but that's the context. That's the frame you're coming from, right? Second thing is, what? The doing paradigm versus the being paradigm. You need to be in the being paradigm, which means you're not doing so much game. You're doing a lot of game. Like you're even looking for ways you can hold the girl's hand. Fuck that shit. Just be like, hey, I love you. Marry me. Like simple words. We're gonna do an exercise tomorrow where we're doing like 1 word at a time. You'll understand when we do it tomorrow. So those are the kind of things you need to be doing in order to get this frame and get this paradigm and get this being versus doing down, okay? And that's what our goal is for tomorrow, and I think you can definitely get there for sure, and we're gonna freaking crush it. Tomorrow, though, don't worry. Tomorrow you will get the angry pimp Tim that you wanted tonight. That did not happen tonight. I always tell students, I'm like, you guys love me on Thursday. You're gonna hate me on Saturday and Friday. Trust me. Oh, trust me, 100%. No, you guys will still love me then. I know it was a little hard on you because you've done game.
It's okay.
So that was hard on you.
It's okay.
I'm like, you did a fucking stand-up job for someone who hasn't gone out. But here's the thing. So there's the thing. So tonight we're gonna celebrate it like great shit. But moving forward, I'm the kind of person, this is how I teach and how I learn. I think when you do something great, reward yourself like with a congratulations, awesome. But then you instantly forget about it and move on to the next thing, right? So great, good shit, but you can do better.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna set the bar high for you because I think that you have that fucking potential. So I was a little concerned. I wasn't sure when I came on you came on program. I wasn't sure how girls would respond to you because you're not the most physically attractive guy because you're out of shape. But at the same time, you carry yourself attractively, and you dress well, and you look good. And I'm happy that side won. The good side won, for sure. And there's no bad side, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be negative.
No, but there's no reason for women to love a fatty. I mean, I wouldn't, shit.
Sure, we can.
I don't hate on it for that.
Okay.
I'm a realist here.
Sure, but
women want attractive.
But the good news is you are attractive, and tonight proved it to me by seeing the way women responded. That's why I told you I was like, just jump in that interaction.
Yeah.
Tonight, if I'm being honest, there was one girl, the two set that was like those busty white chicks that you just opened and got blown out with relatively instantly. Aside from them, I did not see you get rejected by any girl tonight. And that was like, that's fucking solid. Not that rejection's so bad, but that was a good indicator to me and a good test that you're an attractive guy. And the only thing you need to work on right now is understanding technical game. Well, there's another thing, but that's the big thing, understanding technical game. For example, you could have had a date with that German girl.
Yeah.
Not a question. But the way you did it was wrong. Also, the way you positioned your body was wrong. For example, what I would have done is, when you were facing her, you were locking in towards the bar and she was over here. So you were taking yourself out of her space. You want to put yourself in the girl's space. So I would have locked in and I would have leaned into her. Not leaned in like this, like you needed her.
Yeah.
But I would have leaned in just facing towards her.
Put the attention facing her.
Exactly. And then I would have set up a date as well. When you set up the date with her, the first thing you did wrong, I didn't want to tell you this because I didn't want you to get in your head in the moment.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you now. I didn't tell you this inside, but like when you set up the date with her, when I told you to get the number, what you do is you left your locked in spot and walked over. I wouldn't have done that.
Fucked up from the beginning by leaving my lock in.
Exactly. I would have been like, come real quick. And instead of talking to the friends as a group, like both of them, like, hey guys, like, or like, hey, I would have instead been like, come here real quick. And I've been like, I want to drink with you. And I've said it in her ear. But so that's kind of one of the big things for sure what you need to work on, is that concept of like understanding technical game and a process. Tomorrow it's going to help you out a lot because you don't even know it. We haven't gone over it yet. So tomorrow, a lot of guys think on Thursday they'll have good interactions and they don't pull. And they're like, I should have known. I'm like, no, I never taught you how to pull. Like, you don't know how to fucking pull yet, right? What else do we have that you need to work on? Something else for you, and I noticed this, is you are still too much in the nice guy paradigm. Did you grow up Christian? Did your parents teach you kind of technically stay away from girls? Not like shy away, like run away and never date, but like were they more like...
I self-adopted like the white knight sort of thing through like most of my life.
Yeah, because I noticed that the way you talk to women, you don't own your masculinity. Instead, you kind of bow to them. You kind of do this thing like this. It's kind of like oh hey, yeah, and it disgusts me inside because you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Instead, you can be like, girl, I love you. What's your name? And own it. Right? That's another big thing. Just kind of asserting yourself, but less. What you are doing is more of like a pick-up asserting yourself. What I want you to do is more of a way you carry yourself with women, asserting yourself, and breaking down that conditioning of I'm nice, I'm nice, I'm nice. I can tell you don't have a lot of experience with women by the way you talk to them, but you have a lot of potential, which is great. Final thing I want to do as to wrap up this debrief. What time is it? So I can make sure we're doing well.
5 to 3.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Going forward on program, everyone I think has a game like archetype. My archetype is the fuckboy, the non-investing fuckboy who occasionally, and the more advanced you get, you add more little archetypes on. So this is mine. It's going to be a bigger breakdown. I'll explain. So my archetype, for example, is like the non-invested fuckboy who occasionally has flashes of being vulnerable and has a lot of potential value, but hides that value because he's been so damaged by women. That's honestly what I convey to women. It used to be, like, if you could rewind like 2 years ago, it used to be like the fuckboy who knew how to have fun. But I've adopted all these extra little things on because I've gone out a lot, because I've added these little archetypes and the way I do game. So each one of you guys is going to have an archetype on program. And I want you to fulfill that archetype because I think it's going to work best with your personality and it's going to work best with the kind of guy that you are. All you need is to be comfortable expressing what you desire sexually. That's what it is, literally. It's like when you go in, and I'm going to work with you on this. Don't forget, this little talk we're having is just a talk. We're going to apply this shit in the field. I'm telling you here why I'm going to be doing this stuff tomorrow. Because tomorrow when I have you do exercises and you're like, that's scary, or you're like, that's not going to work, or you're like, really, you want me to not talk at all and say one word at a time? The reason why is because of this shit, because I'm trying to get you here, okay? So this archetype. And for you with this archetype, what the big thing is being the kind of guy that can express his sexuality without fear of repercussion, handling tension better. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's your archetype, and then we're gonna try to hit that this
Be
weekend.
more aggressive, right?
No, false.
No.
Aggression is terrible.
No,
Be more dominant and expressive.
Yeah, but okay, I'm sorry. Wrong terminology, okay? But be more
Dominant and
right?
expressive.
Okay,
Yeah. I hope you remember this tomorrow. Oh, you have it on video. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can wake up. Where was I last night?
No, but honestly, like, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna watch this again. I'm gonna tap this for myself, okay? To see, like, exactly what it is.
That's great. It's awesome. And for you, what you need to be working on, not what you need to work on, but what your archetype is, the way I see you, is kind of this, like daddy figure who knows what he wants and can get that shit. And tomorrow I'm gonna do some exercises with you, like some verbal exercises.
Yeah.
Remember that little exercise we did at the table where I said pick a word and we did that exercise?
Yeah.
That was really short, but we're gonna do a much longer version of that tomorrow.
Okay.
You have to get the girl to relate to it in some way.
Sure.
You have a lot of shit, man. Not going for you just in terms of value, because that's not gonna get girls, but in terms of emotional value. Like, again, it's almost like the executive in the club who owns the fucking club and is a baller. I want to see you bring that part out in you. Like, you're so close.
Yeah.
The way you walk and talk is like that.
Gotcha.
The way you talk with me is like that.
Yeah.
But when it goes to a girl, you start supplicating and start looking kind of like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm nice.
Yeah.
Eliminate all of that. You own the fucking club.
Yeah.
That's a deep inner principle. And the way I think that you have a lot of potential, but it's going to be harder for you because really getting good for you is a lot based on the inner, because your outer is not terrible. It's actually not. It's like good enough to actually get laid now.
Yeah.
But the problem is your inner is just so not there. It's not even bad. It's just not there.
It's not there
There's
at
no
all.
reference.
Yeah.
And because it's not there, we have to create something.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do on this program. We're going to try to create that for you so you start carrying yourself like the boss daddy in the club. Right? Essentially, you want to be the kind of guy that I would try to AMOG and I couldn't AMOG.
Yeah.
I know it sounds funny, but I'm sure you need.
No, I mean, it's true,
that's
yeah.
your archetype.
That's where I gotta go.
That you literally can do that. You're like a fucking big guy who dresses well. Like, girls love that shit.
Yeah.
And I saw it tonight. They're like, Jesus Christ, this guy could literally pick me up and fuck me. That's why I told you to pick that girl up.
Yeah.
But you didn't know how to do it again. You don't understand technically how to calibrate yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I see us going for the rest of the program. Gentlemen, I am fucking excited. Tomorrow night, it will be a different Tim. I'm going to tell much less jokes, and I will be very angry at different times of the night. But I can't wait. It makes me excited.